say good morning. Let me say good morning. Good Friday morning to the entire Tri-Island this morning. Wherever you're listening us from, wherever you're viewing us from, welcome to the point for today, Friday. Let me say also good morning, hello, hi. In between everything else in between, then in terms of a salutation, let me say to those of you viewing via social media page this morning, that's Facebook, and I encourage you to share the live. And it's an open line segment for To The Point for today. I think it's actually the first one we are having for this week. There's no particular guest in. So you, the audience out there, the listening and the viewing audience out there, you're welcome to participate in terms of calling in, sharing your views, your concerns, but relating to issues that you may like to speak about. Certainly that will be welcome. 435-2041, 435-2041. Just in case you're missing out, I'm your host, GT. Yeah, I'll go with those simple initials this morning, and you could refer to me by that. So all your phone calls are welcome. I guess there's lots that have been happening for this particular week that you may like to chime in on, and I certainly will entertain your phone calls. I still encourage you to keep your comments short as you could possibly can. Yes, say what you got to say, get it over with, and we move on. 435-2041. I think we got our very first caller for this morning. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Yes, good morning. I want to just put in my little bit because I guess the gentleman who walked out of prison will dominate the discussion. So before that, I heard yesterday somebody was encouraging that children should learn a second language, and I want to support that. Mm-hmm. But I want to say that the second language should be French. You see, in order to understand who we are as Caribbean people, we must always remember our history started before the transatlantic slave trade. So at one time, Grenada was French. Whether we like it, whether we believe it or not, at one time Grenada was a French island. Now, why I'm saying that today, if you listen carefully, if you have a little knowledge of French, you will pick up even today in 2022, the way we pronounce words, the way we construct sentences and all, and we also use some French words.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
We use some French words not knowing. For example, people are writing now more than ever on on Facebook and so. And there is the word "we" in our language that we say, "Are going we" or "yes we," and that should be OUI, not WE. Mm-hmm. It means yes. It means yes. It's a French word that stayed with us in the language. You know, when we say no, it's not NUH, it's NON. Is the French word again, you know? So the language we should learn as we strive to understand who we are as a Caribbean, Grenadian person, I'm suggesting that we should learn French. And then we will get to understand a lot more about ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you also, caller, for your contribution this morning. And I understand where the caller is coming from, and she's certainly correct. But in terms of what she has mentioned this morning, certainly the caller is 100% correct. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number for you to get on the inside this morning to be part of To The Point. It's an open line. And saying good morning also to our viewers and listeners via our Facebook page. Good morning to you. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Good morning, my dear heart. How are you, sweetheart?
How are you doing, Miss Stricker?
I'm fine.
All right.
Fine. I want to come behind my sister. You know, some of us, and some of those that say them is broadcasters, some. Mm-hmm. And some people say, as if, you know, I say, I'm coming by you. No. The word is not why you go. Why you going by the far? No. You coming by me? No.
I coming by you, no.
No, that's not the word to say. You call by me, please, thank you. The word is please, thank you. I want something, please, thank you. I want something, no. This kind of thing, it don't bleed my heart sometimes. Trust me, it don't bleed my heart. Give me something. No.
All right, Jacob.
Fona, I going down the road? No. Where you going down the road for? You use the word no. Go down the road, please. Can you take something, buy something for me, please? Thank you, down the road.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. We appreciate it a whole lot.
Thank you very much,
Have a good morning,
darling sweetheart.
All right. That's Mr. Jacob there. Good morning to you once again. 435-2041, 435-2041. We do have another caller. Let's go over to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you? Good Friday morning?
Yes, Mr. Telesford, greetings. How are you?
Doing good, sir. What about you?
Listen. A very interesting start there this morning from the first female caller. It's interesting. But you know something, since I was a boy, we were taught, a couple of them, from Latin, our own English, Latin, French, and Spanish. But pay attention. When I say we, in this case, it's W-E. We have hardly of us, hardly anyone of many, very few. Let me retract that because I believe I'm confused. Very few of us have really learned, whichever you choose. So it was always been available to us. Always. Some chose to. Some chose not to. I know Grenadians that speak 3 languages today. From time to time we communicate. And that's great. And therefore, what I mean is I would like to see serious efforts be made into teaching foreign languages generally, including French because of our neighborhood and our history. Spanish because of the abundance of people who live in our proximity. Proper English, and by the way, not the Queen's English, but English as an international language. And why not even Italian? Why do I say that? Because we live by tourism. And it is an interesting, creates employment for people as tourist guides, albeit once a year for a period of time. So you can communicate in languages of our visitors. It is an important thing. Yes, all for languages. If anyone feels, well, let me not say that. Mr. Telesford.
Yes, sir.
I want to say one more thing here. Caramba, but it's left my head. I may come back. No, it's there, but anyway.
I know.
I went off on a tangent there, but there is something else I wanted to mention.
When you recollect, you're welcome to call back.
Yes, I do appreciate your
all right, sir. Blessings, man.
Indulgences.
All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let me say good morning to loads of you. I'm seeing a lot, of course, first-timers via the Facebook page this morning. We see Nolan out there from Trinidad and Tobago. He's chipping in. Good morning to you. Who else I'm seeing? Of course, we see Esther Albert out there from viewing and watching from viewing per se and listening from Guyana. I want to thank you folks so much for being part of To The Point for this one. Let's go back and take another caller. Caller, good morning. Good Friday.
Yeah, GT.
How you doing, sir?
Listeners and the viewers. I like to support the first caller about the French, not necessarily that it should be before Spanish. Mm-hmm. Also, your last caller, who also supported the idea of learning French. But I also want to say we should try and encourage people to speak as much language as possible. Sure. In fact, people in Curacao, Aruba, and Bonaire, when I first encountered them, I was so amazed. And also in Suriname, they, because of the Dutch system, was encouraged to learn up to 5 languages, including English, and their own Pacmento. Because it was, Holland considered itself a trading nation, and to trade, you have to be able to communicate. A few years ago, I think with Dr. Paul, who was then the head of SAMCC board or so, or dean or something like that, he announced that the SAMCC was beginning to have a Chinese program language. And I remember challenging him. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good, but are we going to have an African language and an Indian language, mainly in the case of India, Hindi, or in Africa, Swahili, or my people's language is not coming right now, Yoruba? and the West, or East and Western African language, and probably you could think about a Southern and probably a Northern Arabic. I mean, what I'm saying that we should.
I know, but sometimes it could be a lot for folks to focus on. I mean, there are folks who are able to do it.
For people. One of the things that Swahili, the leaders of under Julius Nyerere did in Tanzania when they got independent, because the people spoke different dialogue and different dialects and different languages, decided that they would have to have a unified language in the form of Kiswahili, and make Kiswahili the number one language and then English the second. Although the higher elite preferred English, and then people imitate them. So up to now, there's still a struggle in terms of using Kiswahili pervasively. On a slightly different topic, the situation with the court system, I must say that we should be ashamed, not because of what happened. Because when people were celebrating, we have this economic growth and we have this and the country doing that, there were lawyers and others that was protesting for the state of the administration of the judiciary in Grenada. We didn't support them, although we think, a lot of us think that they are corrupt and whatever, and that is not the issue now. I'm not saying I think that they are corrupt, but I know the sentiment of the average person. But yet at the same time, we say that the judiciary is the third arm of the state. We have to remember also that the electoral office lost a computer, which I believe, and others, greatly influenced the 2013 election, and even the 2018 also. So we have had situation where things went missing. The public library, for instance, used to miss the people going and take the adapter, the transformer. So many times those of us who went to use the library when it was still in operation couldn't. We have too much thieves in Grenada, especially thieves of public property. And also, I know I could go on, the whole missing of a lot of documentation. I remember I was in a certain board. The board provided certain things for the legal department to fix up some issue with that statutory body. And paid money to a lawyer to do it, and when the thing was transferred between the Ministry of Works to the legal part, everything went missing. You have to do it all over, pay money to do it over. I mean, something is wrong, and there's too many thieves in the system. Anyway, I'll probably try to get in another time, and I want to somebody else.
All right, Calder, thanks for your contribution this morning. It seems to be a topical issue that's been going around for most of this week. We have heard of that particular incident that happening there. My take with it is, how long have this computer or laptop or whatever it is deemed that houses the transcript has been missing? Would we have known about it if at all? If the lawyer per se and the individual who was able to, of course, walk free, would we have ever known about it? Because then we heard of a lawyer saying that they have had, of course, clients who were also able to walk free because of these missing transcripts and so forth because of this missing. So it's a story that probably needs a lot more attention put into it. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning to this caller. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm asking myself.
Would you mind
sorry, let me turn down the instrument or the document or whatever it is a little lower. Yeah.
Yep.
We are talking about English. We have to speak internationally accepted English. I hope you understand, or I hope people understand what I mean by internationally. Not for only Grenadians to understand. IAE English. Internationally accepted English. That doesn't mean to say we have to use our English perhaps situationally in particular situations. Maybe I'll make a few mistakes, no. But if I'm talking to the public, I have to be very careful as to how I pronounce my word, how possible I phrase them, so that the people would understand. So you have to speak IAE English when you're talking to let's say, the public. It's true that all of us do not reach the same level. Sometimes I hear bad pronunciation, even I didn't say on your radio station, on your media stations, on many, and people accept it. I accept it too, because if I continually correcting, people will say, "Why did this madman?" As I always say, education is fit to live and fit to live with. Not a man cussing and he say, "You have 40-60." Not a man or a woman fighting and she says she have 40. She should be able to live in harmony. Even if somebody cuss her, he or she should know, perhaps.
I think we lost you there.
Don't say anything. Leave him and he'll correct himself. So we have to speak. Yes, we could use colloquial words in our own environment. But when we go to foreign countries or we go to speak in a meeting or something, so we have to be conscious of what we are saying. In fact, even in Grenada, you hear people talking, we are living in an independence country. They're using the wrong, what should I say? The wrong word then. Okay. So you have to be very careful as to what you are saying. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. Thank you so much. Certainly do understand where you're coming from. Let me see if I could grab a couple of the comments off of the Facebook page. I see someone is trying to ask in terms of getting in contact with us if they live overseas. Well, there's not really a long distance number you can use to call us, but you can use the WhatsApp, which is the same number, 435-2041. You can send me a message via WhatsApp or probably a voice note, and probably could play it live on air pertaining to the issue or issues that you would like to refer to. Certainly no problem with that at all. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning. Caller, good morning to you.
Mr. Tellisford?
Good morning to you.
Good morning, and how are you?
Doing good.
All right. Mr. Tellisford, we must not turn a blind eye to what has happened. And I am very saddened about that situation. But my thing is, a computer was not missing. And it is very, very sad that this criminal, this beast, this animal have to walk free. But on the other hand, there's some other things that was involved. How those things was not considered as to how this man got to Montmorris, whose land he buried the young lady in, who gave him permission, who helped him dig the hole, who carried the suitcase. There's more to it than just that,
well, That may be issues where our information that we may not be privy to. I mean,
but that was information the police should have.
Yeah. Well, I guess the police
because
will have that information to say.
It is alleged he was having.
I say that information, the police may be privy to it, but it may not be made public per se, because I guess it's the ongoing matter at the time.
But it is public. The facts are not made public, but there's a few rumors where he buried his wife and in whose family plot and everything. Right. So I don't know what's happening in Grenada, but we need to straighten up. And I know this administration will do what it can to prevent this thing from happening again. Have a good weekend, my dear.
You too, have a good day. Well, I certainly hope that is dealt with it as soon as possible, because we don't want that happening, because a lot of course individuals who are in prison may want to take the same procedure, knowing that that happened, this has happened, and caused that individual to have gone free. So maybe I could think about contacting my lawyer and so forth, and go see if I could get a suspension on my term imprisonment because of that. Just saying. 435-2041. I think it's time for us to take our very first break within this segment. We'll be coming back with more of your phone calls here on To The Point for today, Friday. We're coming right back.
My Caribbean brothers and sisters, from June 1st straight to November.
Raise it high up the ladder.
I come with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I 7. Are you coming?
I got marble young man. Winner all this thing.
Alright, we go find out.
Yeah.
Mother ring big so. How much you playing? 4 down. 4 down. So you playing 4 down, right? Yeah. Alright. Wow, tips, man. You tips, tips. I man on tips. Hey, that man, back. Play. How much you come with, man? How much you come with? You go with a lot? You go with a lot? I go with 4, 5 and I go with it. We go with it, boy? Nah, I have a last piece. You ready? I'm in last stop. You have to play for that, huh? No, I go leave it one. Let me play that for 2. Let me attack. That, okay, I'll let you yellow. Alright. So, I said now for 2. Yeah. Aye. Yes. What you have to say, though? What you have to say? Yes. What you have to say? What do you do? People, let me tell you something. Don't bother with him. He talk marble. He can't play ball. He knocks soft. He playing sneaky. But even Friday, you will tell us about the game Friday? Rings. I don't bring.
Welcome back to our viewers via GBN TV, or listeners via, of course, K105, listeners and viewers via social media platforms. Good morning and welcome back to The Point for today, Friday. It's an open line day today, and your phone calls are certainly welcomed. Make your contribution, and I will give you that listening ear. Let's go back to the phone line, take another call. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Yes, Mr. Telesphore, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Your last caller apparently didn't recognize that the case concerning this man who murdered his wife was already dealt with, and he was on a 60-something years sentence. Now, we have to look from the time of appeal. We have to find out a lot of things, because this thing doesn't sound too normal. We have to look at those people who are responsible for keeping the information on computer. We have to find out when the computer went missing, who are the possible suspects that can remove this computer. We may even have to look at the counsel representing this man. We may have to investigate his accounts and see what money was passed. Because this thing is mind-blowing thing. It's mind-blowing. It's mind-boggling. It's confusing. And I mean, the gentleman, the lawyer, said that this is just the tip of the iceberg. Well, I would like to go down lower than the tip. Because this thing needs thorough investigation. Even, I believe, the national security people need to be investigated, because this just can't disappear. The computer didn't melt, and normally when you have computers, you have a server. So something in an institution like this, everything should be on the server, not on the laptop. So if it's on the server, you use a laptop to put it on the server. Every afternoon after the day's work, you back up, and this backup system is stored off-site. Peradventure there is a fire and your system gets burned or damaged. So I don't understand this. That is for people who, I don't know if they think Grenadians dumb or stupid, but that is something that was not. It not just disappear. It didn't melt. Somebody took it away, or somebody do something, and this must be investigated, because it has implications for years to come.
I agree with you, caller.
That's my contribution.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. 435-2041. And the caller did make a point that is certainly very important. You know, being issues of that nature, even case matters of that nature being in the court, there should be some form of where records are stored and not just left idly around, you know, because, you know, it's needed for another time. And, you know, just leaving a laptop, anyone could just take a hold of a laptop, go home with it, and you know what can happen to those, that information. Other people could be privy to it. So I do get where the caller is coming from. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, Mr. Telesphore, with your indulgences?
Go right ahead.
Listen, from time to time I do have to agree with people. Mm-hmm. And listen, there's nothing to add to what Ms. Jeremiah just said. Absolutely nothing. This is a very serious, shameful to a great extent, and painful for certain people. And it is just the beginning. I have to agree with the lawyers who mentioned tip of the iceberg, because they won't store one issue, one matter, one case on a whole computer system. So it's a powerful matter. Grenadians have to look into the future. But what is happening here? What does it show, in effect, Mr. Telesford? It shows how low our standards have become in this here country. What has been happening over the years? Poor standards. But I want to talk more on that one. Let's see how it unfolds.
All right.
I want to go on to talk about a matter that recently occurred there, relative to Jesus. Something is going wrong with me. I must indeed admit. I have to admit now.
All right.
But you see, I get so passionate, I'm going to stretch out. I didn't want. So let's leave that there all for now.
Take it
have
easy,
a nice day, will you?
All right, sir. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let me see if I can get in some of the comments via the Facebook page this morning. And I'm reading this comment coming there from May. I feel no computer was stolen. How the individual knows which computer was computer to take? What else is on that computer? Do they have any other way of tracing such actions after a case? Shouldn't the lawyer supposed to get a copy of the transcript? It's all game. They're saying that this situation is all game. That's what this particular, of course, individual is saying there. And another, of course, comment via the Facebook page is saying that there should be an inquiry about the legal system and the process in place to protect the justice system. What do the previous government do, or what did the previous government do about that, or maybe what they did pertain or didn't do about that pertaining that I'm assuming that's what the individual is trying to say here. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning to you, caller. Good Friday morning. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Telephone. How are you, sir?
Doing good. All right.
Mr. Telephone, that is not the only lady, you know. Remember, there was another lady that the Indian guy killed, threw the body over the precipice, and he went to England. Then they brought him back here. They tried him. He must get about 7-8 years or something. Come out. He went back to India, married an Indian, and bring her back in Grenada and living good. Open a little business in Grenville, and he is in Grenada here still. I don't understand. Things is not going right with those kind of things. That's the second one, because the first one, that was the lady from the Shore Precipice. There was the second one, the guy killed, and the foreigners are killing them because the girls here married into them because they think it's a better roses or whatever, you know. But the thing is, Mr. Telesford, that guy should be sent back to his country, take his passport, and send him back to his country with his woman, because I don't see why he should be here. Because if it happens in other countries, we do something in America. When we start with time, they take, if you is a citizen, not a citizen, but he was a green card and he became a citizen, they take back your passport and they send you back.
Yeah, you get deported, right? Mm-hmm.
You are deported. Not only Grenada, Canada, England, all of them places. Why we still have this guy here? And the women in Grenada are talking about it. They keep it under silence because they like what happened in Sims as though. Nobody talking about it. I would like this guy to go back to his country, because it's not good to have this guy here after what he done. And that's the second one. So we have to do something about those things, Mr. Telesford.
Thank you for your contribution. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. You have the option of calling in this morning, being on to the point. It's an open line this morning. You have the option of calling in and sharing your views and concerns. It's been a pretty busy week in terms of lots of stuff happening, and it's been our first calling segment, open line segment per se, for this particular week. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning to the caller. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, and how are you?
Doing good.
Yeah, what I'm calling on this morning, concerning,
Caller, you may have to lower your radio in the background. It seems to be causing a bit of a distraction for you, because you're probably hearing yourself again. So lower your radio, and maybe you can call me back when you have that taken care of. 435-2041. Let's go back to the line and take another caller. Caller, good morning.
Yeah, I was supposed to come back because we have to be careful. If we are a law-abiding country, if somebody become a citizen, why should we decide to deport them after the law provides certain
Well, there's certain provisions for them to remain on island. I understand that.
Yeah. I mean, unlike other doing repatriation and injustice as we did to Steve Pashi. Steve Pashi was a citizen, and because he criticized the government and other stuff, he was ceremoniously not even stripped of the citizen, just abducted, I would say, and deported. This can't be right. So that's why even we have to be careful when we promote citizen by investment. And by the way, Steve Pashi was not a citizen by investment. He was a dual. He gets citizen by due process. So thing. But there was a next issue I wanted to raise. Maybe like Mr. Arola, I'm forgetting. But it has to do with it has to do with an important thing. DBN has to be careful how they communicate information. This morning on a clip, they had one of the reporters saying that Mr. Lacquette, the MP for the Northwest, this is incorrect. The MP is the Honorable Dr. Mitchell, Dr. Keith Mitchell.
All right.
So we had to be careful. I mean, if there's the caretaker or whatever, we wanted to link him, no problem linking him there. But we have to be careful. We cannot,
he's not the official MP for that particular constituency. I understand.
I made a mistake over the years. I had to correct people who tell me this person was the MP and all they were party workers for the area. I mean, so we had to get them thing and them thing. We had to really get things really straightened in this. It's too much.
Right. Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. Always interesting information from you. 435-2041, 435-2041. As we are waiting another caller, we're going to take this caller, and then we're going to take a break after this one. Let's take this caller. Good morning to you, caller. Welcome back.
Yes, Mr. Telesford, I'll be brief and to the point.
Go right ahead.
The first is a denunciation. From time to time, over the past couple of weeks, I've been attempting to reach into the ministries, government offices, and the telephones would ring. The Ministry of Agriculture, 2 numbers there. The Ministry of Social Development, 2 numbers there. The Ministry of Health is the one I've got some reasonable responses from, and Foreign Affairs. But the others, including the Ministry of Finance, there's a major problem there. People either do not answer the telephones because, I cannot say that it's because they recognize my number. No, I can't say that. I don't. But there's a major problem. I'm calling on the hierarchy of the ministry to look into this matter and put appropriate people to man the telephones so they can speak courteously, even answering the telephones and give proper responses. The second thing is this. There are some consultations, I understand, in the build-up to the budget. I have noticed, and with very, very serious concern, that in the quote-unquote throne speech, the so-called representative of Elizabeth Redina, then and now Carlos Rex, did not mention one thing about the plight and status of people with disabilities in this here country. Upon an issue which, according to United Nations Convention, was established in 2008 for immediate implementation. And here in this country, the colonialist government refuses to respect the people with disabilities in this country. 26,000 cases according to the 2011 census. We're waiting to get the new numbers. And therefore, as we move forward into the build-up to consultations, that adequate and appropriate consultations be made so that the people with disabilities can have their space in this country to fulfill all the 50 points of the convention, the United Nations Convention on the Right of People with Disabilities, for lifelong learning, for accessibility, for the right to a home, for decency and in treatment. We need to have, and therefore, I implore the people in the Ministry of Social Development, and I mentioned the problem I'm having to get to talk to them, that they take this into consideration, and the people with disabilities in this country who can assist in their own development and assist to further the cause of other people with disabilities in this country have an opportunity to give their views on the way we should take. I also want to call on the Ministry of Education and the Resource Center of the Blind for the Blind to start telling us.
All right, Mr. Rolo, take another 30 seconds and wrap
No,
up.
I'm out.
Okay.
To tell us what is happening with that organization, that entity of the state. We need results in this country. Thank you very much for your indulgences, Mr. Telesford, and have a nice day.
You too, and you're welcome. Folks, we're going to take a break inside this segment. We drew for our second break this morning. Let's take it, and we come back with more of your phone calls.
You're already ill and have no time or energy to walk.
Vaccines protect you and they protect me. Getting vaccinated is one of the most important things you can do to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Once enough people are immunized, opportunities for an outbreak of disease becomes very low. And if we all choose to get vaccinated, we contribute in getting back to spending quality time with our loved ones in a safe way. Choose to get vaccinated. Vaccines bring us closer.
Mention Winkai, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low power that.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake, I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page and YouTube channel for We Culture.
Welcome back. It's To The Point for today, Friday. We're taking your phone calls because it's an open line today, which means you can call and share your views, your concern pertaining to issues that seem to me you have some concern about, and we certainly will welcome your calls. 435-2041, that's the number you can call. You can also use that number to, of course, to send us messages via the WhatsApp. Those of you via our social media, of course, platform, especially Facebook, you can send your state your concern and go over the comment section. And of course, one time permits, I will certainly read them. Let's go back to the phone line and say good morning. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Hi, good morning to you, sir, and to your followers. The matter about this, the missing transcripts, this is a very serious thing. It is not just a matter of concern for the folks who have lost a loved one and won't be able to get justice, but it's also a matter of national security, because we do not know exactly to what extent that this was going on. We're not sure what other cases are involved. Could it have been something that was done to affect in some way some other case that is in progress? There's so many things there that we do not know, and I think immediate inquiry should begin to look into this thing. If it was or if it's missing or stolen or misplaced or whatever it is, I think the bottom of this has to be found. I would say, though, that this is a case of the chickens coming home to roost early. The others will come home shortly, but these are the ones that came home early. When we have a broken public service system, I remembered in the NDC days of 2008, 2012, when there was talk of halls of justice. Did you remember? Were you wrong? Did you hear anything about that? Tillman Thomas spoke a lot about having a halls of justice.
I remember that, yes.
So we can get rid of all the ills. We'd have security. We'd have a lot of these things happening just in one place and stuff. You're moving from, the court has been moving from, they're moving more than bad tenants. Every minute they're somewhere else. And so some of it may have been because of the frequent moving. It could be carelessness, sloppiness. It could have been deliberate too. But, that's what happens when we don't plan. And after 2 decades of no planning, that's what happens. Things fall apart. And I hope that the new NDC administration will follow up on this whole plan so we can have our judiciary operating properly. The judiciary is important, and if you cannot have justice in a country, we become, it's almost like the law of the jungle. People have to take justice in their own hands. We don't want to get to that point. So I hope that the new administration would act speedily. They see it as a matter of priority to go ahead with having a proper halls of justice so we can have all the judicial matters handled, in one complex or in one compound as far as possible. And those sort of things there won't be excuses, let's say, for those things to happen in the future. Right. But in the meantime, very serious inquiry must be undertaken to find out exactly what happened there. This is very scary. Have a good day.
You too, so have a great day. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number if you want to get on the program this morning here To The Point. We do have another caller. Caller, good Friday morning to you.
Good morning, GT. Gracelyn, I see you. I know, remember, I did tell you how to come and look for you.
All right.
I see you.
Nice to know that you have seen me.
Yes. You don't have no right justice into the fellow killing you all. They should have given me sentence for killing.
All right. Have a good morning.
And I want you to ask the government to fix the road coming inside Conference they call Meadow. We can go have the factory.
All right.
The road down here is very, very, very bad.
All right.
When rainfall, we can't walk. If somebody's sick in the night, we don't know how we go in. If rainfall, a lot of big hole.
Okay, lady, have a good morning. I certainly hope some of the authority have heard your cry and they will probably look into the matter. 435-2041, 435-2041. I like the way she said that. Hey, GT, I've seen you. Anyway, let's go back to the phone line. Good morning, caller. How are you? Good morning, caller. I'm assuming that caller is not connected. Let me see if I can get that connected. And we lost that caller there. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number. And let's see if I could grab some comments via the Facebook page before we entertain another caller. Concerning the missing computer. After listening to the two lawyers, these are questions that need to be answered. 1. How long was this computer missing? 2. Did it or was it reported to the RGPF? If yes, did a person or persons call in? Somehow that have just got lost for a minute. Let me see if I get it back right. Did any person or persons call in for investigation or called for investigation pertaining to that particular matter? 4. When are we going to hear something from the RGPF pertaining to this particular matter? I'm assuming it was reported to the RGPF, and certainly hope we hear some information pertaining to that sooner or later. Good morning, caller. How are you?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
I don't want to talk too much on the. I don't want to talk too much on this transcript.
Caller, would you mind lowering the radio or whatever device you have in the background? It seems to be a little of a distraction.
Well, it's right down. It's right down. It's right down.
All right.
It's right down.
Go right ahead, caller. Go right ahead.
I don't want to talk too much on this transcript because that is it's a real serious issue. I just want to share some information I might have concerning the Janet and the pumpkin. Everybody talking about all the pumpkin vines that after Janet. Mm-hmm. Now, the earth normally takes care of itself, right? What happened after Ivan? When everything disappeared, all the greens disappeared, the first thing the earth do was to cover itself with vines. Cover all the trees that lost its bark, cover the earth with vines. We, wisdom, didn't know what was happening, so we said clever vine and clever place. But the earth actually clothed itself. So during Janet, we didn't have that kind of vine. But the pumpkin would have probably be used or was in place just like how the vine came in Ivan. The pumpkin then did the same thing. It clothed the earth. It's just so when winter's happening, the trees shed their leaves to cover the earth. The earth always looks to protect itself.
All right.
That's all I want to say.
Interesting observation there, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. We're taking your calls this morning. And I'm actually going through the Facebook page, looking at the comments. Folks are making a lot of comments in general. Sometimes not to anything specific per se, but some of the comments are just basic comments in general. But I'm certainly looking through. I have popped up, the WhatsApp, and let me see if there's any comments there. That someone is stating that good morning to GT. Senator Lacret is the MP, Member of Parliament through the Senate, and he is not the elected parliamentary representative. Who is the parliamentary the MP should be the Doctor in the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell. That is so the understandable there. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, Mr. Tillisford. I'm all right. Mr. Tillisford, I want to join this morning with the many NDC supporters who are celebrating the 90 days. I want all of us to take a bow. And you don't hear money, these people, and then proud to the Grenadian people. That's the way to go, my brother.
All right.
Have a good day.
Thank you so much for your contribution. 435-2041. 435-2041. We're taking your calls. You can share your views and concerns. We have a couple more minutes left on the program this morning. More or less, just let's say 12 minutes or so before we take a wrap for today. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, caller, go right ahead.
I'd like to make a comment about the language problem. Your first caller was right on target when she talked about language. And we have to be very careful. We think we speak English. We do not speak English, as though you say standard English. And therefore, we should learn English as a foreign language. Something I could never understand is why people mix up the verbs to borrow and to lend. When a bank clerk said to me, borrow me a pen, I was wondering what she was talking about. She meant lend me your pen, but borrow me your pen is something that people talk about all the time. Even they went to secondary school, they're working in bank and high places, they're telling you, borrow me your pen. Well, that is one example. But there are other things that we do. We speak English sometimes with a French construction. We want to say it is hot, we say it make hot, or it making hot. And that is an obvious use of the verb in French, faire, to make. It's not the verb to be or être. They don't know that construction. So they say it make hot. And we know what they mean. So we have to start examining ourselves, especially in the educational system, where the passes in English are very low. And that is because, as I say, they should be teaching English as a foreign language.
All right,
it is not our spoken language. We don't even understand it sometimes. Example, borrow me a pen. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. And point taken. I certainly do understand your observation there. Before we move on, Republic Bank advises its valued customers that they are currently experiencing service interruption at some of their branches. As of a result, they are offering limited services at the following 4 locations from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Melville Street, Halifax Street, Republic House, and Grenville. They apologize for the inconvenience and thank you for your understanding. Their ATM service, the ATM network, I would say, at Republic Online remains available to serve you. 435-2041. That's 435-2041. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Doing all right, sir.
First time caller, sir.
Well, welcome, sir.
Yes. What I'm trying to speak about this morning is something that is brewing. Much people doesn't know about it, but it's coming very soon. That concerning one of our businessmen in the south of St. George's. You understand? And he's in prison now for a while, but he had supposed to be released before the election, but he's been kept back. I don't know for what reason. So let me just take it easy. And you'll be hearing about that very soon, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. We hope we hear about it sooner or later. 435-2041. 435. Let me say it pretty slowly. 435-2041. That's the number you can call to be part of To The Point for today. Good morning. How are you, caller?
I am okay. Just on a note of concern, I'm calling concerning the lighting in the Sendal Tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just 2 or 3 lights. It's very dangerous to walk in the tunnel. The cars have to put on their lights to see you. People are bouncing into each other. This is an accident waiting to happen. The tunnel needs to be lit properly. I had a very close call with a vehicle recently.
All right.
So it's something, a lot of people are looking at it, but nobody apparently is addressing it. So we need to look at that, please. We know tourist season is off, but Grenadians have to also be serviced. It is very dangerous to walk in the tunnel. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution there this morning, and I certainly hope that the authorities will look into that. The caller is complaining about the lighting situation under the tunnel, and she thinks that if there's some of them that are not working, the lights will say that should be rectified as soon as possible. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller.
Morning, Mr. Telesford.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Well, not too good, not too bad.
Well, you're in between this, so it's all right.
Yes. Well, we were calling from St. Patrick. Well, we were in between with a Frickstorm or whatever it was all this Saturday morning last week. But I'm calling again on behalf of the people of St. Patrick's West, where since after 2016, the past administration tried to save the town of Sotez, and they installed this breakwater project, which I think it was something like 4.4 million EC dollars.
Did that actually work at all in terms of doing that?
But that's the reason why I call it.
Mm-hmm.
If he had worked, I had no reason to call. Because the people of Mount Craven and Mount Rodney and the extended area going on to Mount Alexander, we have a big disadvantage. It is doing us no good, because right now as I speak to you, there was this shortcut we set from the fish market to go to Fort Recreation Ground. Right now, persons that think of passing along the route, and there are a few houses that still remain on the sea coast that endanger the incoming weather that we had last week. Right now, I heard they're talking about dengue and so forth, and the Ministry of Health have to work with the environment and see if we could get the malaria canal open, because it's blocked up right now, and many detergent waters that come in from people's homes outlet have been settling in the area. It's really, really bad, and I hope that the authorities could come and have a look at what's really happening.
All right.
And the quicker... well, I'm not blaming this administration, but at least someone needs to take some action to get rid of this breakwater or do something. Just the same way they put the stones, I feel they could remove it and let the nature take its course and bring back all the sand in the area, because, and you know what, from 2016 now, people who has land property on the seacoast have not gotten any compensation, and yet still you have to pay property tax, which is ridiculous. You know, so I'm looking forward for something to be done quick as possible as I speak to you now. Because it's talking about...
I say thank you for your contribution this morning. We are a little bit strapped for time, just around 40 minutes or so left on the program this morning. And I certainly understand where you're coming from, and I hope something could be done to rectify this problem sooner or later. I hope it has not gotten to the point where it's been destroyed so badly that it cannot be rectified.
Well, I hope GBN could take a tour in the vicinity. You know, let's have some face-to-face talk on this thing again.
Okay.
You know, so then we speak.
I certainly hope maybe the news team could pop up there one of these days. I find
it taking too long.
All right. Well, probably they may hear you this time around.
Position to get them quick as possible.
They may hear you this time around. Have a good morning. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Yeah, that's that caller calling in pertaining to that breakwater project in St. Patrick. Suddenly understand where he's coming from. I had a look at it a couple of weeks ago, and I must say, I have my views pertaining to it. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. You know, I know it's time to go on, but I want to talk something more this gentleman that gets a Lego. You know, my heart is hurting. I don't want to sound racial again, repeating myself, but it's only Monday we bury the Queen. I want to suggest everybody fetus in. And that was the begging for the Queen, because this man come from England, and how could he kill one of us, daughter of the soil, put him in the jail, have a child with her, cut her up, put her in a suitcase and bury her, and soon of a sudden they are lodging to say he had a break open where they hide in this computer. You know, a lot of things happening, and the lawyers, sometimes when judges is saying he decline, he speak with sort of hatredness in his heart. I don't like that. I'm calling to the woman, we have a woman group, to take that in their hand and fight for our woman. Too much things happening. That is ridiculous.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution this morning. Yeah. All right. And still have some time. We could entertain a couple more calls this morning. Looking at the Facebook comments this morning, and someone is saying, and you know, I may have a tendency to agree with this. I think, and this person is saying it's time to stop pedestrians from walking under there, and he's referring to the tunnel. Maybe it should be, it may not be possible to make it only for vehicles only, or make it just for pedestrian. I would maybe agree to the point of making it only for pedestrians to walk, but then the alternative routes for vehicles passing may turn out to be a bit of a problem pertaining to that. But that's certainly a point. Maybe it could be stopping the issue of pedestrians passing through, making it only for vehicles, or maybe either or. Probably stop the vehicles, but then we need an alternative route per se, and there's not much you can offer in terms of the traffic situation in Grenada today. Let's take another caller. Caller, good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning. I do not know who is the Minister of Sugar, but we seem to have a serious problem with sugar in Grenada.
There's a Minister of Sugar. Minister of Sugar?
Yes. Thank you.
I like the way you put that. She's not sure who's the Minister of Sugar. I think I understand where she's going at with that. Let's take another caller before I explain that. Good morning to you, caller. How are you?
Morning, I'm all right. And how are you today, GT?
You ever heard of the Minister of Sugar, right?
The Minister of Sugar? No. About the Minister of Horticulture.
All right, go ahead with your contribution. We don't have much time left.
Just consider what I see with the Breakwater project, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I work abroad, and in the 70s coming into the 80s up there, and I had the experience of working with the Dutch engineers. So without the people, I can tell you what to do there. Now, the top where you come from, at the top of the bay coming down, how they do the stones there, all they have to do is take about 40 feet or 100 feet away from that point on the inside and start another defensive wall, go right down to the end of the bay, leave a channel for the boats to come in, and you might block that end when you walk in, but after you finish walk, that water will be draining all day. Something like how you see the bat waiting, one part going and the water going down. That is what they have to do there.
All right.
So when that one, they will defend the other part of the bay. The top part only defending the top part of the bay, and it's sending all the pressure down there. So you have to come.
Well, caller, maybe one of these days when they have another consultation pertaining to this project per se, you could probably go on and share some ideas which probably could help. You never know.
Yeah, it's an easy defense. You have to.
All right.
You're taking in, so you have to let out.
Thank you for your contribution this morning.
You're welcome.
All right. Hey, folks, that's where we come to the end of To The Point for today. We're already going over the time by at least 3 minutes. Join us again for another edition of To The Point. We'll be next week. We have another edition of To The Point. Then, on Mondays, we'll be having Sylvan McIntyre. He will be popping in us every Monday looking for that. So join us next Monday when we talk disaster preparedness and so forth. And I will say goodbye for today, and I certainly appreciate all the calls that came in this morning. I appreciate that a whole lot. Have yourselves a great day, take care of yourself, and goodbye. Until we have another edition again, have a good one.